Step 4. Everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Welcome to Tales in the Field. We are back. I'd like to say better than ever, but our hearts and our thoughts right now go to everyone affected by Hurricane Ian. Josh, myself, Andreas, we're all living in Florida, and we've seen some of the devastation. We are lucky and fortunate to be here and live with you right now. So we are thankful to be back and be online right now. My name is Bradley Ball, and it's so good to have you with us. On Tuesday, we had Ree Merritt, lead for the Azure Data MVP program and the Azure Data Community, and Hope Foley, CSA and lead of the EDU customer and user group. She leads that for our great customers in the education field. And they were here as our special guests. We talked about Data Saturday Atlanta. Josh hosted. I was disqualified. Neeraj won. About time. If you haven't seen that episode, don't worry, stay right there. The show is posted to YouTube after the live stream, and you can check it out at your convenience. If you want to interact with us on the show right now, we are streaming on the Twitter account of Tales FT Field, Tales from the Field, also streaming on my LinkedIn at Sequel Balls. So head over there and tweet or comment on the stream, or you can go to our YouTube page, the Tales from the Field YouTube page, and comment. One of my great co-hosts will review your comment, and it may get added to the show. Don't forget, this week is Data Saturday Atlanta. Buck Woody will be there. Anna Hoffman will be there. Bob Ward will be there. Matthew Roche, Matt Gordon, Joey Dan, Tony, Amy Harold, Alan Hurt, Patrick LeBlanc, Anthony Nocentino, Hope Foley, and so many more. Go to datasaturday.com to sign up if it's not too late. Before we go any further, let's introduce our co-host. I am joined by my good friends Andreas Padilla, Josh Ludeman, and the most electrifying man in all of sports and entertainment, the People's Chance. Finally, Neeraj has come back to the round table. My friend, Neeraj Jafari. As if it couldn't get any better than that, we are joined by Luis Camino, Principal Program Manager for the Customer Success Team, and he is from the Microsoft Power Up team. He is here in the Electrons himself. Welcome, Luis. It is so great to have you with us. Today, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Power Up program. I know the second that we saw this program, there was a lot of interest just in my household. My wife is in education, and she immediately looked at this and she went, "Oh, what's this about? Are you telling me if I get interested in this technology and I might want to change this field, that I could somehow submit for this and I could become a part of this and I could learn a whole new skill?" It was absolutely fascinating that Microsoft would be offering this opportunity up.
This is great. That's exactly the type of target audience this program is aiming to equip with the new set of skills. So I love to hear about her joining. Right, we have a nice site that kind of summarizes really what the program is about. You'll find you can submit your name or submit somebody else for applying to join the program. We opened this up last week at the Microsoft Power Platform Conference, coincidentally, in Orlando. And by the way, yes, I'm sorry to hear for all this hurricane impacted people. I'm actually from Florida as well. So my heart goes out to all of you over there. Stay safe and dry. And so going back to this, what is this program really all about, right? It's really targeted for non-technical users, right? So to your point on your wife, right? If she has no technical background, that is no problem. That is exactly who we are aiming to equip with the right skill sets. And what this program is really all about is think of it as a guided experience for that in 3 months, right? Where we are going to grant you access to self-paced content. We are going to conduct webinars, give you some labs so that you can, apply your skills. And at the end of the program, you're going to receive a voucher where you're going to be able to register to take an exam. This exam is really it's called the PL 200 certification. This is really how you will be able to, as a participant of this program, be able to showcase your skills after successfully completing this as a functional consultant, right? And this is really also why are we doing this? We want to make sure that we provide folks with an economic opportunity as well. A functional consultant, can work whenever they want, from wherever they want, right? Bring a lot of value to their companies or seek a new job, right? If you just want to move careers. So that's, in a nutshell, what this program is and the duration. Thanks for bringing there you go, the PL 200 examination. You can find out more details about what this really will do for you once you get it. But think of us as your partner, right? We are here to make you successful. And we just launched this, as I mentioned, and we started with a goal of having, a few hundred folks in the first week register at, from the conference. We're in the thousands right now.
Wow.
So there is tremendous interest. I know you guys are going to have a referral code in there, so make sure you guys use it to register for this. We are churning to so much data right now that we are really figuring out, well, how are we going to divide all these cohorts of folks, right, in the best way possible. And we're going to start kicking this off in the next few weeks. So stay tuned. Once you register, we'll connect with you with next steps. And we're looking forward to seeing you on this program.
Yeah, and Louis, this is great. And I think one of the things I kind of wanted to ask you about with this program, this week our subject of the show on Tuesday was all around community, and we have a lot of people who follow the show and friends of ours in the community that really like to give back to the community, whether it be through conference presentations and things like that. For those people who maybe want to give their time or their expertise, is there a way they could get involved?
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, in this page, we're always looking for volunteers, right? That especially want to give back to the community, right? If you have knowledge of Power Platform, if you've been in the Power Platform space and you have an extensive career there, we want to hear from you. We want you to share these experiences with these new folks that are just starting up, right? You'll be able to engage with these future specialists, right? And we don't want you to, usually a mentor program is so time consuming, right? What we're really looking for here is if you can volunteer your time, maybe 1 hour a week, right, to answer questions, right, that these future specialists may have, or you have conducted workshops in the past, right, that you want to also bring in for them to learn from these experiences. By all means, we have a volunteer call to action at the bottom of the Power Up page. Sign up. We look to hear from you.
That's great. That's great.
I love that, because volunteerism is such a huge part of what we do as a company and also as a culture, but it's also the communities that come around Microsoft, the MVPs that we have. They're MVPs because they create content and they share the things that we do absolutely for free every single day, just in our extra time to be able to contribute to the community. These are the key folks we're looking for to come in and be able to help mentor.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, this is great. I mean, really, we're all about community, right? And this is a vibrant community. So please, by all means, connect with us. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And quick hello to our good friend Dan Taylor. I know Dan lost power last night, but he got it back early this morning, and we're glad that you and your family are safe, Dan. Thank you so much. Glad to see you tuned in, buddy. One of the things that I think I want to highlight about Power Apps as well, right? Because we're a data platform community, and people might go, hey, this is apps, right? But all apps generate data. And one of the things that I absolutely love is I have used Power Apps. They're so wonderful and easy to be able to put together. So many data sources that you can consume them with. And there's automation portions of Power Apps. There are the application itself, but then we've also got the reporting that we can do because it's part of that Power Platform, which naturally leads us over to Power BI, which is so incredibly important to realize that, there's a symbiosis around all of this that really feeds from one place to another. As a matter of fact, the links for the community portion of the show today, for this, we've put together a Power App, and that's the way we collect our apps, our information from everyone. So that way I can put that together and very easily get those links out there in the wrap up to the show when we add them to our YouTube page or we put them on Twitter or on LinkedIn.
Well, and with the Power Up program, Brad, too, you're even focusing on Power Apps and Power BI. For me, the secret sauce of the Power Platform is Power Automate, and being able to automate those pieces. And yes, I'm going to poke a little bit at baseball because Aaron Judge hit 61. It's Power Automate in just scratching the surface of it with what you could do with Outlook. I look at it as Outlook rules on steroids. You get the baseball rep. But no, seriously, that's just one facet of it. You can automate a lot of different things. There's a client you can put on your machine to then interact with that and automate, different activities on your desktop. Power Automate is actually, for me, the secret sauce that pulls it all together and makes it the entire Power Platform enormously useful.
Yeah, there's lots of connectors, right? So you can automate many things. And let's not forget also that we do have the capability of intelligent bots, right? So that's
Power Agents. Yep.
So that is another thing that you can explore.
Drag and drop, baby. That's what I love.
No code, no code.
No code development. There we go.
Yep.
That's what we want.
Control flow. Love it.
Yeah.
And so, Lewis, we have a friend, Glenn Berry, who is a wonderful data platform MVP for Microsoft. Glenn said, I had a friend who applied to the Power Up program, any time frame when they may hear about when they're accepted or not. Sorry to put you in the hot seat like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thanks for the question, Glenn. It's great that your friend has applied. And the short answer is we're churning to all the data right now. We really are trying to prioritize as I mentioned, the non-technical users, right? There is a sweet spot there based on the application where we're trying to prioritize, right? And so right now we have coincidentally, a data scientist churning the data, right? Going through that model, and we are going to be reaching out to folks in a couple of weeks so that we not only tell you that you've been accepted, but also what the next steps are. And if you weren't included in the first cohort, et cetera, we do have a plan to make sure that, you are, you took the time to apply. We're going to reach out to you. We're going to waitlist you, and we're going to follow through to make sure that you enjoy and enroll in the program.
I love the communication.
Yeah, and I wanted to, in Lewis, again, sorry for putting you on the spot like that, but I wanted to throw out the opportunity for Glenn to get recognized for his question, but also because he was actually the one who brought you and the program to the attention of the show. So definitely, yeah, Glenn is a friend of the show, friend of ours, and but yeah, I wanted to make sure that we got him at least recognized from that standpoint.
Absolutely. Thank you, Glenn. And, give us feedback as well, right? Well, you know how to get a hold of me now. So we'd love to hear from you, right? And this is just getting started, right? We literally launched this, as I mentioned last week, right? And overwhelming, humbling experience, to be honest, on the amount of interest. And we can't wait to get started and have, maybe we can show up on this show after the first cohort of folks with some testimonials, right?
I love it.
That would be good.
Glenn, maybe, I can't make promises, right? But hopefully your friend is included.
that would be stunning. I love it. Well, and this is such a great tradition that we've taken something that started occurring during the pandemic. People were looking for a way up and out of some of the jobs that they had that were not technically based. We saw people graduating degree programs, people bettering themselves and going on. They term something the mass resignation, but you have to look at the fact that people are improving themselves and making themselves better. And so this is something that we're trying to look at as a way of how do we continue to pay forward this? Because there are people that would truly like to be able to change their situation in life. All of us are blessed to work in technology and see the benefits of that. And there are so many great things that come from this field. I am so excited. I know it's only last week, but the second after we talked, it was funny. I saw Satya retweeted about the program, and I went, that how great that it just shows that we have this culture going all the way up the chain, and that this is such a huge priority at Microsoft. I love it.
Absolutely.
Can kids apply, or is that a limit? I mean, just like a 16-year can apply or not?
Oh, absolutely. This is, I think there's an element of you'll see this once you kind of go through the curriculum, right? And that's why we're also seeking volunteers to help answer questions to really properly scale this program, right? They don't just want to hear from us, right? We want to hear from real life examples of experiences of people. So anybody can apply. It is a global program. We have seen tremendous interest, of course, in the US, UK, African countries, Europe, right? It's really, really, let me reiterate, very humbling to see the amount of interest. And yeah, thanks for bringing up the page. And this is what I mentioned to you, right? You'll be guided, you'll get vouchers, you'll be recognized after your certification, and you'll join. And I think that's what this show is all about, a vibrant community, right? Where you'll be part of it and give back. You'll be able to give back as well.
And there's already some wonderful success stories out there. So if you're on the fence and you're wanting to understand what the program is about, you can hear firsthand from some of the great stories that we have.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. These I call them these all-star team came to the Power Platform Conference, and they were celebrities, right? Like people wanted to hear from them, and these are folks that had never played around with technology in the sense of actually implementing solutions. And so they'll just take it from me. We have the testimonials, and we're hoping that at the end of these program cohorts, then we'll have additional testimonials left and right joining the community.
Excellent. Wonderful. I'm so excited about this. So gentlemen, do we want to try and share some links from the community? And real quick, Dan Taylor said, hey, thank you. Praying for all the folks impacted by Ian. Absolutely. Please make sure and look, there are definitely in the days and weeks to come, there are going to be people who are affected. There's going to be charities like the Red Cross that are probably going to have donation drives. Look for great ways that you can reach out and help take care of some of the people that have been impacted by this. And his comment on Power Apps, I love it. Even a DBA like myself can use it. As a matter of fact, I remember going out and working with a customer and using Power Apps and Power Automate to show how you could do some really very cool things like sentiment analysis on a text-based form for a Power App to be able to score that, throw it in an Azure SQL database, and then we can report off of that. Again, there's so many amazing things that you can do with Power Apps, Power Automate. The sky's the limit. And so this is a wonderful program. If you're debating, if you're on the fence, if you have a friend who is not in the technology industry, but has looked at you and said, oh, how do I get into that? This is a wonderful opportunity. Share this with people and let them know that they can submit to this. And this is a wonderful thing for them to go and do.
Yeah, we call it, are you interested in breaking into tech? We started hearing that. I heard someone say that, and I was like, ooh, okay, I like that. So I won't claim that, but yes, if you're looking to break into tech, this is the program for you.
I love it. I love it. Excellent. All right. So if we go over to the community roundtable that we've got, first up, Neeraj, I have something for you. I'm going to go ahead and share this.
Thanks, Brad. So I just the reason I brought up this one, it's not related to data, but just because we were on the communities and all this stuff, I wanted to give a shout out to Darren Rose. He's a founder of ProBlogger.net from Australia. He's showing how you can build a blog and create a community around it. There are 9 reasons why you should be blogging, how you can create a community around it, and that's the reason I was bringing this blog up. I mean, nothing related to data or anything, but just help you out to build your community, build blogs, build the networking that you need to require to do it. So that's what I want to bring up.
It's an incredibly important point, though, because often people start to get involved. I remember when I went to my first SQL Saturday, when I first got involved in the community, before I submitted to be a speaker, I took a look and I said, what is everybody else doing? And I saw everybody had a Twitter account, everybody had a LinkedIn page, and everybody had a blog. And I went out and I set those things up. And one of the things over time, more and more as you go and you get involved in the community, more and more people drive to your blog, and it really does help. And there's a lot of, how do I get started? None of us started out here, right? We all have a professional background. We all have things that we've done and different steps and roads that we've taken. But it's really good sometimes when we think about the community to talk about how people actually can get started on that community.
Well, in with the blog too, to even take that a step further, one of the things I always had, and I talked with others about since then, was decision paralysis and what I should blog about. And Brad, you actually helped me with this many years ago, and it was just because you know it or you feel like it's a basic thing that others are blogging about, you still should blog about it because your perspective is different than everybody else's who may be writing a blog about it. But it also gets you in the habit, it gets you producing content, it gets you to show up, so that people find your blog and find your voice, who enjoy your voice. Not everybody's voice is the same.
Yep. That's a great point. It was Jason Straight. He was an MVP, and I almost didn't submit to a conference on an indexing topic because he wrote the book on that. And he told me, Kimberly Tripp, who is also amazing and wonderful and super active in the community, she first, started blogging and presenting on indexing. And he went, if I would have just gone, well, Kimberly's going to be at this conference, I should never submit this topic because Kimberly's going to cover it better. He goes, then I would have never submitted my stuff. I would have never continued. And the advice she gave him was, your perspective is different. And there is something unique that you are doing. And I agree. Every time I talk to a user group, I say there is something you are doing right now that I would love to know about. And I'd love to have you at the front of the room. And I'd love to hear what you're doing because it is unique to you. It is your story. And I wish you would tell it. Liz, our friend Dan Taylor said that he's going to go visit a veteran friend of his that's looking for a change in what they're doing. He absolutely loves the Power Up program. Dan, we're super excited to hear about that. That's fantastic. Andreas, I've got you up next.
Love it. Finally. Okay, cool. Before I get into this, blog post by our great friend Jomi Vagala, I want to reiterate that point. If you're out there and you want to start blogging, your voice is so important. And there's bloggers out there that I just don't like the way they write things. I gravitate the way other people present, that topic. It just sounds better or flows better. That's important. Find someone, your voice may flow better. You may explain it, add a little bit on top of, be the cherry on top to what was already blogged. So keep blogging, get in there.
Beautiful sentiment.
It's been done.
Beautiful sentiment, my friend. Many voices equal a community, and you can't have a community with just one voice.
And actually that gives me a good segue into this topic. Right now we pulled up. This is what I loved about it. Last week. We talked about operationalizing machine learning models, MLOps, and our good friend Mir Alam did a great blog post about that. Now, our friend Jomi here, he is talking about how to demystify machine learning and for industrial IoT applications. He takes what Mir wrote and adds a little bit of a different flavor to it. He now adds, well, how do I apply those same concepts? Grabbing the data, cleaning the data, training the model, creating the model, finally testing the model, seeing if it's precise enough, then deploying that. And that's pretty much your ML lifecycle, your ML ops lifecycle. Now, how do we apply that to different industries? How do I apply that to industrial applications? And he goes through this and he talks to you about what questions you should be asking. Is the data good enough? Is the data relevant? Is the model being trained? Is the model trained automatically? Is the precision high enough? Do I track experiments as they go through the ML training process? And do I deploy this properly? Is it easily deployable? And so he walks through all of this. He compartmentalizes all those different components of the ML lifecycle. And then he gives us a sample that we could use, a GitHub repo that we could use that has a simulator in there that generates data that shows you how all the components fit together. Great blog post. I definitely recommend it if you guys have a chance to tinker around with this guy.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to go with, in the vein of Power Apps, because of our wonderful guest, I'm going to talk about a blog by Carmen Yaswin. Carmen, I believe, is an MVP over in the European region, and she has this wonderful blog using JSON to optimize Power Automate input parameters using the Power Apps trigger. And to me, one of the things this does is it shows just how powerful we can make these Power Automate pipelines by being able to parameterize them, looking at the methods that we can use. And again, if you think about this, it sounds like a super complex, super codey kind of thing, right? A lot of this is going to be very low code, very, very low, that we have to be able to send to be able to parameterize these specific things to be able to send them through. And I love it because she goes through, she explains the good and bad, and she's got so many different topics that she covers. Her blog is over at gigipersonal.com. It's just a fantastic blog that I found, and I really enjoyed what she had put together. And next up, I've got Neeraj.
So I wanted to highlight Monica Rathbun. She is, I think, one of the MVP for data platform and a certified solution expert. She's a frequent speaker at all the communities. So that's the reason I brought her up in here. One of the blogs she wrote down, which just because of SQL 2022, I wanted to bring up, was query performance tuning strategies. Very nicely written down, really helpful for you. And she's just not doing on query. I mean, there are multiple blogs she's written down in this whole site that Brad is sharing. But something that definitely would help you out during your SQL journey.
Well, the great thing is, so first off, love Monica. She is just a wonderful person. She's an MVP. I've known her for years. Last time I saw her was over at SQL Bits, and it was great to see her over there. This is also a link to the Run As Radio show hosted by Richard. And when we go to Dev Intersections, the Azure and Data AI convention that's going to be in December, he will do a Run As Radio panel with the SQL Server product group. And occasionally when we're there, some of the Fast Track product group members as well. And this is going to be a link to a show so people can listen to Monica describe great query tuning tips on the Run As Radio podcast, which is an absolutely fantastic podcast to listen to. We've got a lot of great members of the community that have been a part of that for quite some time.
And I wish I was giving out points today, because I would give Neeraj bonus points for a 2-for-1. He introduced Monica's blog and Run As Radio. It was beautiful.
He already won. But
it's like a whipped cream and cherry on top. It was beautiful.
Can I get 2 weeks now?
No,
I can't break the rules.
Not even for you. Although if there was anyone we'd let be host 2 weeks in a row, it would be Neeraj. I think we all agree on that, right?
Be careful with the points to Neeraj, because he's going to float out into outer space and we will never see him come back down.
But one thing I thought of is, could we just give Neeraj Andres' week when Andres wins?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
No,
we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
That'll be a future discussion.
We need to audit this program if that goes that way.
So speaking of Andreas, I have you up next.
Okay.
We have another
let's see if I can rack up a point or two. As you all know, I'm the utmost connoisseur of streaming analytics and anything streaming. This actually, we talked. Someone posted a message about 2 or 3 weeks ago saying, "Hey, what's your favorite streaming demo?" This is my favorite streaming demo. So Krishna here, he put out a great sample of how to take your streaming analytics, combine it with an MX chip, generate some data, feed it into streaming analytics, and then do some anomaly detection on the accelerometer and on the sensors that are in here. And it's such a, what it does for you guys, it shows you how to connect all the streaming analytics, how easy it is to set up, how to set up your T-SQL statements, how to use the out-of-the-box anomaly functions that are built into streaming analytics, and then pump it out to maybe storage account, Power BI, so you can see it in real time. It is, if you're going to streaming analytics, this is the creme de la creme sample. This is it right here.
And again, talk about a 2-for-1. You're pointing over to Azure Fridays with the great host Scott, who is there, and you're going to hear them talk about this. So not only is it a blog where you can take a look at and you can look at some symbols, you can look at the video. And this is a wonderful series that they do every Friday. They come out with a new Azure Friday, and we've got great new content associated with that. Wonderful. Absolutely loved that, Andreas.
And don't forget about the shout out we just got out in the messages. Shabnam.
Oh, yes, Shabnam.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it. Oh, and Glenn has made a comment as well. Looks like the Ignite Skills Challenge seems to have items that are related to the Power Up Challenge. There we go. Wonderful. That is very, very exciting. So let's see. Next up, I'm going to share another Power Apps blog. And this is Start Debugging Your Power Apps by Michael Roth. And so I was looking through this, and naturally, if you're going to code and you're going to do any coding whatsoever, you need to understand how to be able to debug things. And so it walks through how you would actually walk through, how you would debug items, how you would capture that data for debugging. Oh, you had me at data, right? And then how you would look at that data to be able to validate that things are going the way that you want them to. I thought this was really ingenious, really creative. And frankly, the next time I make a Power App, I'm going to have to play around with this, and I'm going to have to practice my debugging skills with Power Apps. So I thought that was great. Let's see. And I know we are a little over time. We want to thank Louis so much for joining us. And again, we're going to make sure that we get everybody over to the Power App site. Remember, there is a code, talesfromthefield.com, to let them know that you came in from our broadcast. So if you share this with a friend, please tell them to be able to share this. And a big hello to our good friend, Lonnie Bauer. Absolutely love Lonnie. One of the just best human beings on this planet. Lonnie loves Power Apps. We love you, Lonnie. We love you. So next up, I have Neeraj. And walk us through this good one, my friend.
So this is from Louis Davidson. Louis is, I think, around 20 years in the IT field. It's MVP from 2004. One of the things that SQL 2022, he's wrote down a good blog on the T-SQL side of it, and that's the reason I brought this whole thing up. He also wrote down a book called Pro SQL Server Relational Database Design and Implementation. That is something that is definitely something good to read about it. So that definitely is what I want to bring it up here.
Absolutely. A big shout out to Louis. Louis was actually the first pre-con that I ever went to at my first SQL Saturday ever. He's been involved with the community for quite some time. Louis is just a great and wonderful, kind man. Loves Disney, I think, as much or perhaps more than I do, which is shocking for me to be able to say. Probably more. I am ashamed to say more. But yes. Oh, I should be. I should be ashamed of a lot of things.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, we're all in agreement there, including the fact that I was disqualified this last week. I'm not getting over that one anytime soon.
No.
So last up, Andreas, will you share this with me? The Nuevo
Foundation. The best for last. So this is actually the reason I brought this up is because we were talking about community this week.
Yeah.
If you guys want to get involved with, community has so many shapes and forms. Mm-hmm. The Nuevo Foundation, what they do is they help kids that want to get into science, technology, engineering, and math. And you can get involved and you can go to set up teaching options for kids, introduce programming to kids, do a ton of things, introduce SQL to kids. This is run and founded by Beatriz Mendez Gandica, and I met her the other day, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Incredible what she's doing with the Neural Foundation. She's a program manager at Microsoft. This is if you want to go in and have another option of helping and getting into technology and giving back what you already know, sign up for the Neural Foundation. Definitely, go in. There's opportunities nationwide and from city to city. And Neural Foundation is looking for other engineers to help extend what they have to schools nationwide.
I love it because you're absolutely right. Look, the future is our children. My daughter had a STEM class last year, and it was her favorite class. And I love the ingenuity and creativity that went into that. My hat's off to anybody who is helping kids with STEM. It is absolutely fantastic. And it's a wonderful thing because we need to make sure that kids are trained in science, technology, engineering, and math. These are critical skills to our future. So real quick, I think we're about at the end. That's the last of the links that I actually have. A couple of reminders real quick. Tuesday is our game show where we play for who will be the host next week. Neeraj won. Finally, it's about time. The great one himself, the people's champ. Neeraj is in the building and he is the host, and he will come up with the topic this Tuesday. And then we'll see who's going to win. Is Andreas right? Is there a conspiracy and he won't get it again? Will Josh get his second round? Will I perhaps hopefully not get disqualified and actually get positive points this time? Here's hoping. That's going to be my goal. I don't even think I'll win. I just want to get positive points. The special guest joining us next week, I don't know if this is a hint, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't, is Brad Schapp, Principal PM from the Azure Synapse Analytics product group. That's fascinating because that can go in a whole lot of different directions. Brad is super, super smart. And I'm not just saying that because he's got a great first name.
We could talk Synapse, we could talk pizza, we could talk about ninjas. Who knows what's going to happen?
Because we all know pizza is better than ninjas.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, what?
Yeah, pizza is so much better than ninjas.
Ninjas can cut pizzas.
I'm sorry, I got to pause you right there, Ludeman. Remember, Microsoft Ignite is also coming up, where pizza is also better than ninjas. And you want to make sure to register for Microsoft Ignite. It is absolutely free to be able to stream. We're going to have consulting one-on-ones. Remember, the Azure Fast Track team is there. That's us, aka.ms/FTA. That's how you interact with us. But also, Josh, myself, and Buck Woody, we're going to Live 360 near November, aka.ms Live 360. That's going to take you to our Ground to Cloud show that we are doing a hands-on lab. That is going to be so fantastic. I cannot wait for that.
Where is it? Do you know where it's at?
Oh, where
Tell
is
us.
it, Josh?
Where is it,
It
Josh?
is at the beautiful Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort on the beautiful campus of Universal Studios Orlando.
Are you guys getting paid by that resort?
No, I just love it so much. I've gotten into this there.
Yeah, I think so. That's
I'm having fun.
I got to tell you, you come to Orlando, you stay there. You'll never want to stay anywhere else.
Exactly.
It is fantastic. I live here and I get rooms and I go stay there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, stay safe, guys. Love you all. Great show. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe. And we cannot wait to see you again on Tuesday. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it.